Speaking of dumb people, apparently the Jimmy Dores of the world are mad at Noam Chomsky because he's in favor of vaccine mandates. If you did not realize that these dumb lefts, as we called them, and really we were just being we were being nice by giving them the moniker left.
Could have said like about just, Jimmy crypto reactionaries.
Right. Yeah. I think we could just say dum-dums now, right? Yeah. It's a specific category of dum-dums.
Dum-dums appealing to a certain anti-elitist right wing.
A new audience.
Right. It's an anti-establishment.
Anti-establishment.
Contrarian. And these guys, we put up that graphic the other day of all the anti-vax stuff that Jimmy Dore has been doing. And this one is pretty good. They're really mad at Chomsky, apparently, because Chomsky's for vaccine mandates. And I think he also called like the force the vote like childish.
Yeah. So they were already primed to.
So there's a lot of anger there. There's a lot of anger there.
First the pet project, and now the larger anti-vax grift for the new audience. So you get a twofer to hate on Chomsky.
So apparently Chomsky's on some podcast. He does all sorts of different podcasts. I think he's nearing the end, and
perhaps too generous with his time.
He might be, but I genuinely appreciate that he's doing this.
Yes.
And I think it's important, and I think it's good for him that he's going on to all these things, and I think it shows sort of his integrity, frankly. Mm-hmm. And apparently Jimmy didn't like this answer about vaccines. Here it is.
So watch how he gets this wrong. We're talking about the global south not wanting the vaccines, and watch what he has to say.
On the left have been concerned that vaccines are not getting to many third world countries. However, I believe that there also is a great deal of skepticism among those populations where they're saying that they don't want it, especially in Africa. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on there. Why do you think that there is so much?
Pause it for 1 second. For folks who are just listening,
a headline
that he puts up the headline. No, keep the image up, please. Keep the image up. He's put up the headline.
That's not happened yet.
It's right here. Like, what is driving COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in Sub-Saharan Africa? And then just go a little bit farther, because here comes the next headline that Jimmy isolates. Remember, Jimmy does tweets. No, back.
No,
right there. Stop. What is driving COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in Sub-Saharan Africa? Right, there it is. And this is from the World Bank blog.
Despicable.
Jimmy must read quite a bit, I guess.
He's a voracious reader.
He's a voracious reader of headlines and tweets. But if you start getting into like multiple numbers of words, then things sort of break down for him. But let's listen to what he's got to say about this article that he's basing this whole critique of Noam Chomsky on. Here we go. You want me to start? Yeah, go back from the beginning.
So watch how he gets this wrong. We're talking about the global south not wanting the vaccines, and watch what he has to say.
On the left have been concerned that vaccines are not getting to many third world countries. However, I believe that there also is a great deal of skepticism among those populations where they're saying that they don't want it, especially in Africa. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on there. Why do you think that there is so much vaccine hesitancy in the global south?
Global south, there is overwhelming demand for vaccines. Overwhelming. They are pleading for the West to stop hoarding the vaccines and to let them have them so that they can overcome the terrible effect of non-vaccination. That is the overwhelming majority.
Laughs.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's his response, which is, I'm going to say wrong. And why do I say it? Well, here's a headline that says, what is driving the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in Sub-Saharan Africa, which goes against what he just said.
Okay.
He said there isn't hesitancy.
There's something. This is such an example of total stupidity. A, that headline does not refute the Noam Chomsky saying there is overwhelming desire and demand for vaccines in the global south. Incidentally, the global south is bigger than Sub-Saharan Africa, 1. 2, the fact that there is overwhelming demand for vaccines in the global south or even in Sub-Saharan Africa does not negate the existence of vaccine hesitancy. What's driving vaccine hesitancy does not say that vaccine hesitancy is the reason why people are unvaccinated largely. Like, this is just
despicable.
This is just like reading comprehension literally for third graders. Okay, third grade level.
Well, that
reading
assumes he did the reading.
No, I'm talking about the headline.
Yeah.
Then let's go into the article, which he clearly did not read.
It took Sam like 2 seconds. We looked this up before the show. Yeah.
So dumb, this man is so stupid. But understand, all he gives a shit about is getting the clicks from his new audience, which is vaccine, anti-vax, and has decided that because Chomsky is for vaccine mandates, is now anti-Chomsky. As African countries accelerate the deployment of COVID-19 vaccines, the issue of vaccine hesitancy looms. Globally, there has been a rise in general vaccine hesitancy, but especially towards COVID-19 vaccines.
Globally.
In Africa, hesitancy must be viewed in the context of significant vaccine shortage. In other words, there's significant vaccine shortage, and you must understand that to the extent that there's hesitancy, it is within the context that there's a big shortage.
This is the third sentence.
It exists, but it does not driving the issue. Hesitancy does not explain fully the low vaccination rates in Africa. The slow vaccine rollout on the continent is due to supply constraints, structural issues, and logistical barriers. In other words, now understand, this is the World Bank, whose interest in maintaining patents and in maintaining the practices to develop and produce vaccines does not lie with the global south. The critical question is how to increase both supply and demand. And then they go on to say that the 2020 Africa Center for Disease Control, 2020.
Yeah.
This is pre-development of vaccine. Survey in 15 countries found that while 79% of respondents would take a COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy ranged from 4 to 38%.
Which is largely indistinguishable from vaccine hesitancy in the United States.
As it exists today, when billions of people have been vaccinated, and that number is going to be lower. In 2020, vaccine hesitancy was higher than 38% in this country. I mean, so this is just like, he's just stupid, but doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit about any of it.
He's covering for the actual vaccine apartheid that pharmaceutical companies are
That's
actually
the point.
pursuing.
Well, let's continue. Here he comes. Because we have done multiple interviews. You can go back and look at it. We've done it on the other Peacock show as well. Bill Gates stepped in between the UN and essentially the world in their attempting very early on to share all information about the development of vaccines.
The intellectual property.
The intellectual property and the best practices on how to produce them so that production facilities could be replicated around the world.
And they might trust them better if they're more local, perhaps.
And Gates stepped in with COVAX, and basically with the money and the relationships he had through the Gates Foundation, pushed this initiative about COVAX that said, we're going to give away 25% of whatever it is, the needs for vaccines. They never hit those goals at all.
Yeah.
And but
make it
here
voluntary. And by the way, buttressed by the big pharma that Jimmy Dore and other types are saying is the one that's like behind this mass authoritarian effort. So so who's serving big pharma here by claiming that the global south does not want vaccines?
Maybe Bill Gates is doing the global south a favor by not letting them
by letting them die.
Yeah.
Right. By letting them die. And who is aiding and abetting the elites and shadowy figures behind the scenes like Bill Gates and big pharma by literally handing on a platter their talking point about, it's the global vaccine hesitancy. We'll continue to hoard these vaccines in the West. Thank you, Jimmy, for backing up big pharma. We really appreciate it.
Maybe Bill Gates found out what was going on with VAERS, and now he's very concerned for the global south.
Yeah, play this clip. Keep going.
But there is. We know there is. Here's also who wants COVID-19 vaccination in 5 West African countries. Hesitancy is high and trust is low. They're not making it available, Chomsky. Why do you think they're not making it available for free to everybody if it's what you say? Why wouldn't Bill Gates and all the big vaccine people make this vaccine available? I mean, right now, Moderna and Pfizer, they're making tens of billions of dollars. They can provide this vaccine to everybody. Why aren't they doing it? Noam, what is going on? Why did Bill Gates tell Oxford to not give away their patent for their Why is all this happening? Chomsky doesn't seem to have a critique of fucking anything except repeat shitlib talking points.
Well, very few people in the what would pass for the left now have a critique of this anymore. It's strange.
We've done multiple segments on that very, very topic.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's been the number of articles critiquing the fact that they've been hoarding the vaccine, the idea that we're going on to booster shots and not providing these vaccines for around the globe. I can't even tell what Dore is saying. It's just a bunch of fucking gibberish about how they're so vaccine hesitant. Why won't the Gates Foundation? I mean, is Chomsky saying that he's in favor of withholding patents in the development of these vaccines? I don't understand. They're so mad that he is in favor of vaccine mandates, and they're so captured by an audience that is giving them clicks, that wants them to be critical of anything that pushes vaccines. It is like brain rot, and just combined with it's just utter stupidity.
Well,
Jimmy Dore has always been fundamentally someone who has. If it's just if I can somehow stretch this headline, I'll do it.
Well, don't read it. He didn't read, and I've talked about this all the time. He didn't read it all at TYT either, and he's continuing it to this day, except just with a new, this is authoritarian for my grip.
But they don't need to read because they have the message that they want, which is that a branding one, which is that the other left is lazy and too lazy to stand up to this authoritarianism. That's really the message. They don't really give a shit about African vax hesitancy.
I can't comprehend the stupidity of saying that that he is opposing Bill Gates in this instance by claiming that the global south as a monolith does not want vaccines. That's literally the exact project that you were pretending to be railing against right there. He is the one denying vaccines to the global south as well as the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah. Bradley, can you put up that the social blade metrics that I put up so we can maybe see some material reasons for why this pivot? If you look at what happened to him after the election, that's so those low ones there about May 21st, that's about 2,000. The mid-range is about 20,000. So his subscribers just completely fell off until the last few months when you see a nice little boost.
You know what that bump is right there? That bump is going after the squad. Mm-hmm. That's what that bump right there
But to be fair, he was doing that when it was killing his ratings in January and February too with forced to vote stuff.
Right, that's what that was.
No, but if you look at that graph, he's tanking when he starts attacking the squad. Or is that what you're saying?
No.
No, look, it's going down when he's doing the whole forced to vote.
Put it back up.
And then it basically flatlines this summer and then goes back up once he starts doing the anti-vax stuff.
Oh, it starts to go back up as he goes. Yes, I understand. Well, at one point, people lose interest in him saying the same thing over again. There's only 9 months you can flog.
Well, after Biden wins the election, it doesn't lose it because he didn't listen to make Tulsi Gabbard vice president. What are you going to listen to?
Oh, right. I see. This is August right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting, huh?
That's all vaccine, man.
All vaccine
shit. Yes.
He was up at India Walton's campaign, I think in Buffalo, and said
They're keeping people out. They're checking IDs and vax cards.
and somebody with "End the Fed" 18 says apartheid, a mad face emoji. That's the audience he's cultivating. Jimmy did not mention that there was a fast test booth for folks who were not vaccinated because
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean he's a charlatan milking anti-vaxxers.
Jersey Max, I think it's funny. I have a coworker who sits 15 feet from me and watches Jimmy Dore while I'm watching you. My coworker's anti-vax mandate. There you go. And also a bit of a coin nerd. The best part is he saw over my shoulder that I was watching MR, and it was the episode with Andrew Callahan. Told me that you were very dishonest in the primaries, especially regarding Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang, has he even gotten an update on Andrew Yang?
Oh, he's
Andrew
doing
Yang.
the forward party.
What was
Like, yeah, there was news today. He's doing a bunch of rallies for his,
his forward party. But wasn't there also something
meme
that
party.
He was? I mean, talk about dishonest. Andrew Yang claimed that he was going to win in the Democratic primary, and then after he had convinced Democratic voters to vote for him as a Democratic nominee, he was going to switch to his forward party or whatever it was. Rob from Dedham. Jimmy Dore's audience is also largely that People's Party group of grifters. Really is a shame that some people who might be predisposed to left politics might actually listen to this effing idiot.
I agree.
And grift right with him. Sure, he is appealing to a new audience, but there's a core group influenced by these dum-dums, and mask is off. They aren't dumb left anymore. They're just fucking dumb. I would agree.
I feel bad for the coworker, honestly. Like, I genuinely think people like that, they only have a certain amount of time to like watch political stuff, and he's sucked in, and now he's on the Andrew Yang train because of Jimmy Dore's, irresponsibility.
Sean of YouTube fame just released a video about Jimmy Dore to patrons. It's very good and will be available to everyone soon, says Mailman Paul. Check that out. I don't know if you mentioned this, but Jimmy is going on Rumble. Oh, we're going to, says, come shower with crowd. We're going to go on Rumble too. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not with the same contract.
Probably slightly different contract.